Hey there, my friends. Welcome back to Real Estate Bites. This is episode number 20. My name is Jonathan. I'm the head coach of Right Sales Team at Russell Real Estate Services. Before I get going here, I just want to say thank you so much to the viewers out there who've been watching this now for 20 weeks. Our first one was August 4th. And every week after this broadcast ends, I get text messages of people who want to talk to me about the content. Every week I talk to someone new who tells me that they watch and they love it and they get so much out of it that they take some of this information back to friends and family and they talk about it. So it really is an awesome feeling because I'll tell you, every week, or well, not every week, but on occasion, I will rewatch some of these broadcasts just to take a look and see what I can't change or make better. And, inevitably and unfailingly, I watch myself and think, man, you look foolish. But, people keep watching every week. There are more watchers, most local, some out of state, which blows my mind. But thank you to everybody who continues to come back and watch Real Estate Bites every single week. We come at you every Friday at noon during the lunch hour, and we always bring some statistics and a little bit of insight into the industry. So let's get going with our weekly statistics. Okay. Here we go, guys. All right. So these stats, again, for those who are newer and haven't heard, these stats come from the local MLS. They are in Lorain County only here in Northeast Ohio. The statistics are, this county, I think, represents a pretty fair sample size for activity, not only in Northeast Ohio, but, the greater Midwestern region of the country. Again, these stats are from the local MLS. They are all single family, detached homes and condominium sales. We don't do multifamily, and I don't count mobile home park sales in these statistics. So let's get going. Current inventory in Lorain County of single family homes and condos, townhouses are 414 active listings. Okay, this past week, there were 45 closings. That is the lowest total since we started. I just think that is indicative of the season here as we approach the holidays. The selling just slows down. Median home value this past week was $187,000. The average square foot price was $141.45. The city of Elyria, once again, is the leader for the most closed sales this past week at 12. Through 20 weeks, Elyria has had the most closings, 11 out of the 20 weeks. They're also, once again, home to the lowest price sale for the past week at $50,000. The city of Lorain has had the most in that category at 8. The highest sale of the week is Avon Lake. They also have had the most of the highest value sales. Out of 20 weeks, they've had 9. The runner up there is the city of Avon. So you can see $909,915 was the highest sale of the week last week. Let's get into that. Take a look at that house and see what it looked like. All right. So as you can see, it was new construction. Some stats about this new construction here in Avon Lake. This is in Legacy Isle, a golf course community. 3,800 square feet, 4-bed, 3.5 bath, 0.3 acres with a full unfinished basement. I just mentioned that our average square foot price for the last week was $141. This one was $238.82 a square foot. That, of course, is a reflection of the new construction premium. So we do have pictures of the model. This is a 3D rendering, all right, but we have pictures of the model home and how these things are appointed. Everything that you would expect, right, in a house, new construction running at $900,000. You've got the big, beautiful open concept kitchen into the living space, double ovens, big giant island, all new top of the line appliances, gas fire. You can see you've got the bar stool seating around the island, plus nice large dining room area, hooded vent over top of the stove, wrought iron banisters up the staircase. Oh, we got some lag here. All right, that just goes to show that we don't need to take a look at any more of that. Very good. All right, back into these statistics. We'll finish these up. All right, so the sale price to list price ratio was at 98% this week. I showed you last week. The MLS stats dropped off the decimal points and just go with rounded numbers, rounded whole numbers. So 98%. So you can see that out of the last, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Out of the last 8 weeks, we have only had 1 week that has been at 100% or greater. Once again, this is one of my leading indicators to tell me what the market is doing. Are we continuing to appreciate in price? Are we declining in price? Or are we holding steady? So over the past 8 weeks, we really have been in a holding pattern on pricing. This is due to a drop in demand because of higher interest rates. That said, I mean, the demand is still there. It's still there. We've just found equilibrium. We're still at an all-time low inventory. We still have, we're still selling houses right around list price on average. You can see the next column there is 26 average days on market over the past week. So homes are still selling quickly on average. This next column is the one that is a bit of news that is noteworthy here. So that is the current market interest rate for a 30-year conventional note when the market's opened this morning. I gather all these statistics at 8 a.m. every Friday morning to present to you guys. 6.62% was the market rate this morning at 8 a.m. for a 30-year conventional note. Now, that is over 45. I think that's 45 basis points lower. Double check on that. It is 43 basis points lower than where the market opened just a week ago. Okay, so again, that's a conventional note. So if you were looking at a 15-year conventional note, that interest rate drops to 6.15%. If you're looking at a 30-year FHA note, the rate there is 6.13%. So interest rates are declining. They're receding back into a level that's more comfortable for people. I've heard lots of customers, lots of agents clamor for lower interest rates. They want to see something more like what they saw, 2020, 21, and 22. I think this 5 to 6% interest rate is probably optimal for us, guys. And the reason I say that is because, the reason why home prices appreciated so rapidly over the past few years was because of an inventory issue. And that inventory issue was created in large part by crazy low interest rates, right? The Fed lowered their Fed funds rate to 0. Bonds traded lower. In order for the banks to get their premium, they were able to charge a lower interest rate. They had to compete, right? And so we saw those 2, 3, 3.5%, 4% interest rates. And so what happened was a lot of people, instead of moving, they simply refinanced, either to lower their payment significantly to reduce the amount of time it would take to pay off their home. But, for a lot of folks whom I talked to, they made a choice that instead of refinancing or instead of buying new, they refinanced with a cash out refi option, and they made improvements to their home that they were currently in. that allowed them to create the home that they would have been shopping for in the open market anyway. So they were taking cash out, they were adding additions to their home, they were making very large improvements to their kitchen, bathroom areas, master suites, things like this, while extending their note and keeping their monthly payment at about the same rate. So addition to that causing inventory problems where people decided to just stay put and not put their home on the market and shop for something new, you had these all-time low interest rates that were a huge incentive for large institutional buyers, right? And so you had organizations like the BlackRocks and the Vanguards of the world, these huge, mutual fund, hedge fund companies, investment companies who are cutting billion-dollar checks to real estate investment trusts, saying, we're buying into your trust, buy more real estate. This is a vehicle we want to invest into. And we saw investors come in and buy a large part of the market share. It wasn't a majority by any means, but it was a significant part of the market that investors were buying up. And if interest rates are reduced back down to the levels that we saw over the past couple of weeks, guys, that's what's going to happen again. You're going to have these institutional buyers that are just buying hand over fist, property sight unseen, no inspections. They are going to compete in the local market with local buyers and sellers. And so this 5 to 6% interest rate level is probably a pretty healthy area to be in. You went from just 2 months ago, we were at 8%, guys. And so going from 6% down to 6.62, was that the number that we said earlier? Yeah, 6.62. That has increased affordability significantly for home shoppers, okay? If they're buying FHA and they're down at 6.13% today, again, that is increasing affordability significantly for local buyers, but it's probably not the kind of rate that's going to want to make large institutional investors cut those billion-dollar checks and send their real estate investment trusts out marching into our neighborhood and buying up stuff. I was looking at some other statistics the other day, and Cleveland is we're amongst the most affordable housing market in the country. And that goes by home prices and sales, the ratio of sale price to median income, things like that. But we are amongst the most affordable housing markets in the nation. We are also amongst the most profitable rental markets in the nation. So, these big investors, they've got their eyes on us. And if money is cheap for them and they can leverage widespread purchases in this market where housing is relatively inexpensive and rents are pretty profitable, they're going to keep watching. So if interest rates recede significantly, again, it's only going to create another inventory crunch, and home prices are going to continue to climb. And it is not going to help the affordability problem that we have here locally at all. All right, that's what I got for statistics. Let's jump into today's topic. And I want to talk to you guys about special improvement districts. Apologize to people who live a little more inland or my out-of-state watchers, but this one is pretty hyper-local, and it's really specific to lakefront communities. So this is the kind of good information to share with friends, family who live in lakefront communities. Special improvement districts, they can be created anywhere, but what I want to talk about today is specifically about the Lake Erie shoreline. So, the Lake Erie Basin is the most populated of the entire Great Lakes Basin. A third of the population in the Great Lakes Basin live on the Lake Erie shoreline. Now that includes Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York, and Canada. But nevertheless, a third of the population of the Great Lakes Basin is on Lake Erie, and no doubt our Ohio coastline is one of those concentrated areas, with large cities like Toledo and Cleveland, everything in between, and in between Cleveland and the Cleveland Menor area all the way out to the Pennsylvania border. A lot of population on our lakefront. And the state of Ohio, back in 2017, enacted legislation that that opened up the entire shoreline of Lake Erie to become special improvement districts. And what that would allow, the whole point of it is, it would allow homeowners, or groups of homeowners rather, to approach their local communities, their local municipalities, partner with the local municipalities, counties, and the state, and improve the coastline specifically for erosion control. So people who might be really interested in this are folks who, obviously anybody who lives on the lakefront, but also people who live in small neighborhoods that share a public beach, or a private beach rather. People who private marinas, things like this. So if you know folks who are part of a private lakefront community, something like Lakeside out there in Marblehead, or folks who may live in a cul-de-sac, and everyone who lives in that area that's north of Route 6, they might not be a lakefront home, but they may live in this cul-de-sac, and their whole little neighborhood of 6 to 20 houses might have access to a private beach. Those homeowners could partner together with their community, and essentially what happens is the county and state fund the construction of erosion control. Now, whether that is a blocked up or a bouldered up coastline, right, that protects the coastline there from erosion from the tides, or whether it is a break wall that protects a beachfront, these assessments will help pay for the planning and the design of that erosion control. Municipalities are exempt from this. Churches are exempt from this unless there's special legislation written in for those. But a group of homeowners can partner up, band together. You have to create a nonprofit organization that is specific for this special improvement district. Petition your local government for special improvement district rights, and then go about approaching the county and state for the assessment in order to pay for this erosion control. And the way this is paid for, it used to be a loan to specific homeowners, but because the county has to underwrite that loan, they only ever underwrote 2 of those loans. And this sort of program has existed for, I think, over 30 years. And in all that time, they only ever underwrote 2 of those loans. That's why in 2017, they changed it from a loan from the county to basically something akin to a tax assessment, that instead of being underwritten by the county and attached to a name or a homeowner, it is attached to the property. So if the property is sold, that assessment sticks with the property and not the seller of the property, who is now moving to wherever they're moving. Just an interesting little piece of information for you guys out there. If you have friends, if you have family who live in an area like this and may be interested, please share this information with them. I'll tell you what, I'm trying to bring good quality information to you guys. I'm trying to bring some value to you guys through these programs. So if you like what I'm bringing every week, please share this stuff with your friends and family. Get them to watch more. Got more guests coming up, more and different information. Next week, we're probably just going to talk about some more interesting statistics about real estate in the state of Ohio. I also want to take this time to say happy birthday to my love, my wife. It is her birthday today. Also want to tell her happy anniversary. So yeah, I married her on her birthday. It's just the way it worked out. I win there. Easy for me to remember. Hey, until next week, thanks again for joining me. Take care of yourselves. Let's take care of each other. I love you, people.